stuff going on here. It has been a hell of a week in pro wrestling, and we're going to bring it all to you here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. And of course, also streaming on the Odyssey app worldwide. Yeah, please download that app if you haven't, because you'll be able to rewind the show. And of course, we're also out there on Podbean. If you want to subscribe to us on there, we'd certainly appreciate that. And we're also streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook as well. So you can get in the chat box and say hi to us there. All sorts of great ways to enjoy the Mark Hoke Show. But we are very happy to have you joining us no matter what. I know it's I'm sure a lot of people lost a lot of sleep last night, and want to say our hearts go out to the victims of everybody that was involved in what happened yesterday in Pennsylvania. And of course, glad that former President Trump is okay. But of course, there was one casualty and two other people that got hurt. But our prayers go out to them. But a wild night in that, and I want to just say you're in our thoughts. But hey, we want to, of course, bring on. Got a great guest for you. We are excited to have this guy join us for the whole show. We got two great guests. Of course, later on in the show, we're going to have Matt Black joining us here from WrestleZone.com. But from ad-free shows, I am very. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, never mind. We're getting him on in a little bit. I'm sorry. We will be joined by Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum, in just a little bit. He's gonna do a little errand, and then we'll have him on the show. So we'll get Coach on in just a few minutes. So as soon as he's finished doing what he's doing, we will get him on with us. But a very exciting week in pro wrestling, and we're gonna start in, of course, with everything that happened on AEW Dynamite, which has kind of stolen the show this week. You know, of course, WWE had a lot of hot stuff going on coming out of Money in the Bank, but the Owen Hart tournaments really kind of stepped in and got everybody's attention. So good for AEW. You know, they're starting to get a little bit of momentum back as we're leading into All In. And of course, two big winners setting up the World Championship matches at All In, as first Bryan Danielson takes down the Owen Cup for the men, and he will be taking on Swerve Strickland. And boy, I'll tell you, what a great match that is going to be. And had an amazing match with Hangman Adam Page. Of course, the Hangman not too happy, to say the least, and he is going to be joining in the Blood and Guts match. He's not happy with that, and he's going to be teaming up with his old allies, the Elite. But Hangman Adam Page, oh boy, and he's cutting some great promos too. But we're going to see Bryan Danielson in the main event. And, when we get Coach Rosey back on, we'll talk a little bit about, who should go over in that match. I mean, just a few weeks ago on the show, I don't know if you were joining us, but, I said Bryan Danielson should get that world championship, give AEW a little bit of a boost and a little bit of familiarity. But, man, it's so hard to get rid of Swerve. It is so hard to get rid of him as world champion. It would be nice to, you could do a little flip flop there, but tough. Oh, that is, I don't know. Coach Rosey's back. I'll let him get settled in here. We'll get him on in just a second. Of course, the women, we saw Mariah May knock off Willow Nightingale, and then, shoo-hoo, as she took out Toni Storm and left her in a bloody heap as she won the Women's Owen Cup, and she will face off with her now former mentor. And a nasty finish to that one. Wow. And that got the world talking. And let's get Coach Rosey in on the show. Very excited to have him with us. He's going to go with us the whole way, too. Josh Rosenbaum, Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows. What's going on, my friend?
Man, it's been a wild couple weeks in wrestling and a wild couple weeks in the world, but I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, very happy to have you with us. So, hey, let's get your reaction. Starting off with these winners for the Owen Cup, and on the men's side, let's go there first. As we had a big win for Bryan Danielson. And now we have a very difficult decision, I think, for Tony Khan. I'm sure they've had it planned out for a while, but who do you put over, Coach? Does Bryan Danielson walk out of All In with the world championship, or do you keep it on Swerve, who has just been doing an amazing job? I think this is a very difficult call. I really do. I had said a while back, I'd love to see Bryan Danielson get the world championship, give it to him for a while, get him out there, maybe bring some old WWE fans back in that were familiar with him, and maybe get those guys, those WWE people, into AEW again. But man, Swerve has been so good. He's been so good. Who's your guy? Who's your guy, Coach? Put him in. Who is it?
I swerve when I drive. I mean, Swerve's my man. And I have to consider Bryan Danielson as an honest person. He said he didn't want to win the world championship. He didn't need it. So if it's a Bryan Danielson decision, I think he's cut from a different cloth. I think he wants to put guys over. And I think that could be the case when it comes to London, because Swerve is the future. He's got a great role going, and him against MJF, Ospreay, Hangman, those are some epic matches. Bryan Danielson doesn't need the title to get over, but if they do want to bring in more people, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's really tough because I love Swerve, and this build is going to be fantastic. I got to interview Swerve a little bit before he won the world title, and just the preparation that he does and how he approaches a feud, and what he does to get ready to do promos against opponents, and how he digs and tries to find these little things that he can say and do that are going to really put a feud over is incredible. And man, I don't want to see him lose, but at the same time, man, it would be great to see Bryan win. So this is going to be fun. I can't wait to see the work that these two are going to do together. And boy, you almost want to draw. I almost want to draw.
Complete shoot. I'm drinking Nana's coffee right now. That's how much I support Swerve and Nana.
Oh, nice. There you go. I don't have either of that, but I do have something. I have some Prime. Logan Paul. I'm still out there for you, buddy. But I'm going to get that $1 million. I got that X thing going. I'm working on it. I'm going to get that $1 million from that son of a gun. He owes me anyway. Well, he doesn't owe me anything, but it'd be nice to have him come on the show. But so we've got that side of it, the women's side, and boy, this got everybody talking. A great end to the show on Dynamite with Mariah May winning the women's Owen, and then just absolutely destroying Toni Storm. And I've talked about the use of color on Dynamite, that sometimes they do it too much. This worked. This actually worked. And man, I'll tell you what, I think it's propelled Mariah May to a new place. I think everybody just thought she was this, kind of crazy blonde girl, but now I think people are going to take her a lot more seriously too. And man, the war that is going to take place at All In and the build up for this, I think this is going to be an amazing run too. Credit to Tony Khan, and they did a nice job building this. And even before you knew it was coming, and you kind of knew it was coming, they did a lot of nice little hints along the way. But this is going to be an outstanding match coming up at All In too.
Yeah, and for those people that say Tony Khan can't tell stories, this was an example where he really did tell a wonderful story by bringing in all the tidbits with the shoe and with the tension that they had at the match they just had in New York. It built and built and built. And what didn't she do? She didn't watch out for the shoe, so nope. The layers were there. The storytelling was there. There's kind of been a lull in the women's division in AEW, but with this storyline and what we're going into London, it's really picked up with Britt back as well.
Yeah, the women's division is on fire in AEW. And it's interesting. We were talking about just a couple of weeks ago on the show about the storytelling with Tony, and sometimes the shorter stuff doesn't go as well, but that long-term storytelling that they do in AEW is pretty fantastic. It can be vulnerable sometimes to injuries and things like that, and we've seen their momentum get shut down uh, because of that. That for example, what happened with MJF and Adam Cole, that unfortunately what happened to both of them really killed that storyline, which I thought was fantastic until like I said, everybody just went down, which was a shame. But man, I'll tell you, this has been a lot of fun. And now you mentioned, of course, also with the ladies, now we get Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné, and man, I'll tell you what, I'm such a huge Britt Baker fan. I mean, she knows it too. She knows I love her to death.
EMD day one, a pillar. Someone that we saw at the first Double or Nothing in 2019 in Vegas, and it's just continued to grow and grow and grow. And she was really vulnerable. I mean, I didn't know that she suffered through all that stuff. I just thought it was an injury or taking some time off. But Britt's a warrior, and she's going to come back bigger and better than ever. I hope she wins the title in London. I think it's a little quick. I think they're going to build up a little bit more. But, Miss Moné is definitely developing the heat that's going to be necessary for the payoff when Britt beats her.
Yeah, and I'm not totally sold she's going to lose, but I do think that this has now pulled her up a little bit. I think some people were a little disappointed with the start of her run here in AEW, but I'll tell you what I think did the job. Her little Bret Hart mocking last week. That reminded us of how much of a little minx she can be. I can't say the word that I want to say because we're on terrestrial radio, but but she turned up the heat of the last couple of weeks and just reminded us of how good she can be. And this match is, I wasn't that excited about it right off the bat, but now I am. Now I'm ready. And the AEW women's division, you start looking over that roster, and it's pretty good. They have a fantastic future. Probably wouldn't mind seeing one or two additions yet, but they're on a roll, and you've got some great people at the top. This is going to be a lot of fun, and you're almost more excited for the women than the men. I mean, these are going to be two great matchups with four great women leading the way. I'm thrilled, Josh. This is going to be outstanding.
And I'm going to play a little Nostradamus right here. I think Jamie Hayter is going to come back and cost Britt the title when they get to London. I hope that's not the case. Obviously, I'm for Britt, but I think Jamie Hayter is going to come back and be a part of this trio storyline as well. Plus, the girls got a third storyline that's really developing too, between the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, and Thunder Rosa. That's going to be an interesting one as well. So, like we said, the women's division's hot in AEW.
Yeah, and they're almost back to full strength too. And once again, they just got devastated by injuries. Rosa was out, and Britt was out, and Jamie went down, and now the only two really that are out are Jamie and Julia Hart. Jamie's going to be back pretty soon. We're still waiting on Julia. I mean, that was kind of a rough injury that she took, but they're almost ready to completely roll again. Let's just hope they can stay healthy. God, it'd be great because Jamie getting back for All In. I mean, it's a shame she missed it last year. They've got to find something for her to do if she's ready to roll. So that would be cool. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and All In's still just starting to shape up. I'm ready to go to England, man.
Do it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go this year, but I'll be in Chicago for All Out. And I like how there's a 2-week difference too. They can build a couple things up instead of just shotgunning it like they did last year.
Yeah, that was a little rough. But yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting. And I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, there's a lot of stuff going on in the WWE women's division as well. This has been a pretty interesting time for the ladies, including one that kind of chapped everybody a little bit. But, we'll let it go, I guess. But we'll talk about it. So when we come back, we're going to keep going with Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum here on the Mark Hoke Show. And don't forget, Matt Black from WrestleZone is going to join us in the second hour. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back here on KDAWN on the Mark Hoke Show.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
The wait is over. Dell Technologies Black Friday and July deals are live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15, powered by Intel Core processors. The XPS 15 brings you the perfect balance of power and portability, plus stellar visuals and immersive sound. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics, plus free shipping on everything. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
In Nevada, anything that goes into the storm drain goes directly to our local waterways, which can pollute Nevada's lakes and rivers. Nevada is the driest state in the nation, and we must work together to preserve our limited water resources for future generations of Nevadans. Here's some waterway wisdom so you can help do your part this summer. Wash your vehicle at a car wash or on grass or gravel. Avoid sprinkler runoff. Scoop your dog's poop, bag it, and discard it. Collect grass clippings and put them in the trash. And secure and pack out trash when recreating. Keep contaminants out of our storm drains. Use waterway wisdom. And remember, only rain should go into the storm drain. Join us in preserving Nevada's waters for future generations by visiting lovenvwaters.com and following us on social media. This message sponsored by the Nevada Department of Transportation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we're back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Streaming on the Odyssey app and live streaming out there on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Hey, subscribe, please. Wait, I'm going to ask. Just do it. On YouTube, of course, the Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, the Mark Hoke Show, and at Mark Hoke Show on X. We would certainly appreciate it. That will bring us joy and happiness forever. Right, Coach?
Yeah, hi, son. He's watching me up in college right now, so I love you, son.
Hey, there you go. Hi, son. What's going on? My daughter's actually out in North Carolina right now visiting the ex's family. So hope she's having a good time out there.
Amen to that.
She's probably not watching. She's out running around with ducks and stuff like that. So it's all good. But a lot of movement on the women's side in WWE as well, Coach.
Yes.
Stephanie Vaquer, of course, just made that appearance on at Forbidden Door. And hopped right to WWE. They threw a contract at her faster than the Flash could have gotten it to her, I think. She kind of upset some people a little bit at CMLL. Does it really matter, though? You're around a lot of these, some top professionals at ad-free shows. Does it did her missing out on some dates and skipping out on them really hurt her at all? I mean, unless disaster strikes or something down the road, but I think you kind of have to understand it's WWE. When they come knocking, you answer the door.
Yeah, yep. The days of loyalty and finishing your dates. Not saying that it's a bad thing that they're not doing it today, but guys in our generation would have completed the dates. But I can completely understand. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to get to WWE, and it's happened before in pro wrestling, and it'll continue to happen. It's once you got your shot, you got to seize the moment. So I have no problem with it.
Yeah. By the way, if you're watching and you want to give us your opinion, hop in that chat box and say hi. I'm curious to hear what people think about that, because there's loyalty, and when you sign a contract, you finish it, or do you just say, what, I'm in the big time now. I'm good. So tell us what you think. But certainly a great break for her to go to WWE. And I'm wondering if Tony Khan's a little upset that he gave her a showcase and she took her talents elsewhere. I'm curious about that. I think I'd be steaming a little bit, but you didn't have her under contract, so what are you going to do? But off she goes.
That's business. That's business.
Yes, it is. Well, another person who did business was Natalya, and she re-signed with WWE. While I think it was expected that she would, I was advocating for her to give AEW a shot. And while I understand, her husband's there, she's been there a long time, obviously is very well established in the locker room, I thought it would have been fun to see her in AEW taking on a new challenge. And I think Tony would have treated her with a lot of respect over there, and maybe and probably pushed her to be the world champion at some point. And I thought it would have been a great addition. But at the same time, I understand her deciding to stay with WWE. A lot of reasons to stay there. What were your thoughts on the news of Natty signing back with WWE on a multi-year deal?
I love it. WWE is her home. To be with her husband, who's a big-time producer on the women's side, the legacy of her father, and the fact that we've seen some old WWE talent come to AEW, and the fans really not latching on to them, as opposed to the men stars that have come over from WWE. So I think she wanted to end where she knew that she would be revered and go out in her blaze of glory, her retirement sequence where she can be celebrated. And I love it. Natalya is maybe not the wrestling type that the AEW crowd would be looking for, maybe as a managerial, general manager or something like that. But in WWE, she can really put over these young stars that are coming over from NXT and have her flowers at the same time.
Yeah, I hope she gets one more chance on top, because I have been such a big fan of Natty's, and I think they just didn't use her right at all. And I don't know what it was with Vince and her that they just, I think back to the whole gassy thing, for one. I mean, that was one of the most horrendous things that I've ever seen a promoter do to a performer. I mean, that was terrible. And why, of all people, why would you do that to Natty? I know it was ridiculous. And the fact that hasn't had many chances on top just blows me away, as good as she is. So I thought it would have been fun to see her go to AEW and get a shot, because I'm sure Tony would have put her up there. But, it's a different time in WWE, and, going away from her husband would have been very difficult, I'm sure. So I get it. And I hope things go well for her. And I know she's been doing a lot of mentoring and coaching, and that career is going to be there for her as long as she wants it. So, in a different era. So I'm happy for Natty, and I hope she got a lot of zeros on that deal.
I think they might even move her over to some of those A&E shows, hosting different things. She's a beautiful lady who's got wisdom in wrestling and can use her skills in a lot of the WWE empire.
Yeah, that they need to feature her a lot more. So wish her all the best, and hopefully she stays happy in WWE. Now, there was another situation that's come up over there that they pulled Jade Cargill back. And this is intriguing. I was one that said they should go slow with her and, maybe even give her a run in NXT. And there's a lot of people that have come into WWE with a lot more experience that they started in NXT. And I almost felt like when they brought her into WWE, they slotted her in there to almost say, hey, look, we stole your toy, Tony. It was that kind of felt like that to me, but I felt like they rushed her. And then when you saw some missed spots at Clash at the Castle, and it just, you just knew something was a little bit off. And it's nothing against Jade. I think that she is going to be a generational talent in time, but I think what everybody forgot was when she came into AEW, she only had wrestled about 70 matches in her career. And going into WWE and doing some of the things they were asking her to do, that you have to be at a little higher level than that. And when you're going into a triple threat tag team match with people that are a lot more experienced than she was. I mean, you look at the group that she was in there with, that was that was a group that if it would have been anybody else, there's no way she would have been in with those people. So this is going to be very interesting to see what they do with Jade Cargill, Coach, and I'm curious to hear what you think about what they're going to do with Jade from this point, because man, now you put the brakes on a little bit. This is a little awkward for her.
Yeah, but if she wants to be in the big time, she's got to learn that WWE system. And whether that's more time at the Performance Center or more time in promo classes, workshopping different things, I think she's dedicated. She was a college basketball player, so she has the work ethic and the determination to make her dreams come true. Yes, she was pushed hard. They tried giving her the Bianca Belair rub. It worked for a little while. But I think they're going to cool her off and get her a new coat of paint and bring back Jade in a way that we might have never seen before. So there's a lot of options. Who knows? Maybe she can go to the Wyatt family. Maybe she can do this. Maybe she can do something else, because WWE has been surprising us with things that, a lot of us haven't even come up with in our little predicting mode that we get into. So there's a lot of options for Jade. Maybe she goes into that speed program where it's those minute and 30 matches so she can get a couple squashes in. So there's a lot of things that they can do with Jade to get her back on top.
Yeah, I think that it was one of those things where, AEW was booking her properly for the talent and the experience that she had, because when you look back on it, it was kind of, and I don't want to insult Bill Goldberg, but it was Goldbergy. She would come in a lot of mostly shorter matches, squash people, because that was, she was a beast. She's coming in there, she's bigger, she's stronger, she's faster than everybody else. She should be going in and destroying people. But you move her into a situation with WWE, it's a little different. There's a lot of great athletes in WWE. So you're not, even though you are still a very dominant physical figure, it's not like it was in AEW where she doesn't stand out physically quite as much. So it was a tricky spot for them. And I mean, you're going in there and, you think about some of the physical figures that there are in WWE, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler. I mean, there are people that could physically match up with her in WWE as opposed to AEW, where you really didn't have many people that could do that. So there was a huge difference there. And I don't know if WWE really anticipated that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm curious to see what happens, Coach.
And I hope the best for her. I mean, NXT I think would be a good move down, because those girls, nothing against them, but she can dominate those girls. I mean, there's a couple bruiser women in NXT, but I think she can go in as the storm is coming and really bring a storm to NXT. And I think, again, that would be that little extra dig on the AEW now with Ethan Page being champion. You make Jade the champion. NXT is getting more viewers now than Dynamite. So, I think the war is not as blatant as it was between WCW and WWE back in the day. But I think in the back room, I think Triple H wants to show and exert his dominance, not to crush AEW, but just to show him who's boss.
That's interesting that you brought that up, because I wanted to talk about that. So let's shift that way a little. The ratings in terms of NXT are really good. We've seen them matching Dynamite, and it's more, they've come up and Dynamite's been down a little bit, but NXT's putting on a great product. And is it more because they're bringing the TNA guys in? Is it because just the talent's better? I mean, what do you think has propelled NXT at this point to getting to this level? Because I watched the show and it's a great show. No, but they are doing some things to kind of push it up, with maybe bringing main roster guys down, adding TNA people, and doing some extra stuff that they weren't doing in the past.
Well, I'm the perfect person to speak on this because I was not a regular NXT viewer. I'd catch the clips on whatever social media site, but over the last month or two, I have been watching NXT live because of the people that they're bringing in. I love all ego Ethan Page. Once he came over, that popped me. I'm watching it. Once Joe Hendry showed up, boom, I'm watching it, because you never know. The Rascals, you never know who is going to show up at NXT. So we don't have just one event of Forbidden Door. It's a weekly Forbidden Door on NXT, and I'm there for it because I don't want to catch it on social media. I want to see it live to see who they're going to bring in, because it could be Matt Hardy one week. It could be Moose. It could be whoever. But you know what? They're making stars. Braun Breaker, Tiffy, all this type of stuff. NXT is truly, truly a developmental system that is making the stars of the future and validating people that have been stars that weren't used properly. Now they're coming in and you can really start to see them shine.
Do you think TNA is going to regret this? I think it's good for them to get the attention, but at the same time, now when you're seeing people from TNA go over there, Jordan Grace is gone.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry is going to be gone. And a lot of, the Rascals, now that they got their guys over there, good possibility they're going to be gone. This could be almost a move to loot TNA a little bit. I mean, they're going to have to be, I think TNA is going to have to be a little bit careful here, because if they don't watch this, WWE is just going to start, oh yeah, you know what, this guy got a pop, contracts up, gone, contracts up, gone, contracts up, gone. This is, I mean, I think it's good in a way, but you don't want WWE taking every good person you got.
Well, WWE has to start reciprocating TNA by sending over some people to fight on their show as well.
Yeah.
But you could be right there. And, TNA, they're looking for views. They're looking for ratings. They're looking for, oh my gosh, you saw Joe Hendry on NXT. Now come watch us on their night. So they are, it's reciprocal. WWE is using their stars. And TNA is thinking, maybe I can get that little NXT WWE rub, and then our viewership will increase. It's a bold move by TNA, and it could backfire, but it could also help them. And that's the beauty. We're going to be able to sit back and see what happens to these stars, because these are people that have been fighting for a long time, wrestling for a long time, and now are finally getting their opportunity for exposure. And we'll see what they're going to do with it. Is it going to be the same thing as we saw with the lady from Mexico going over and breaking a contract or doing that? That's to be seen at a later date. But I think TNA is trying to increase viewership by any means necessary. So it's a bold move.
Yeah, and you mentioned about WWE sending people over there. I remember when they first started this and they were bringing people, TNA started sending their people over there, and all of a sudden, Moose is like, man, it'd be fun to wrestle Drew McIntyre, or, hey, I'd like to wrestle Obafemi. Well, let's do it. Send some big names over there to put on their shows, and not just, Tatum Paxton. So, if you're going to do it, hey, send John Cena over there on this retirement tour. Could you imagine what that would do for both of them if Cena showed up and wrestled a match on TNA? If you're gonna do this relationship, you're right. It's got to go both ways, Coach. It has to, because if you're not going to send a maybe for at least a TV taping a month, and send one big name over there to really pop this off, what good is it really to a point doing TNA? I mean, it's exposing their stars, and you're getting TNA chance on NXT, which is cool, but at the same time, oh man, you're opening it up. I talked about this last week on the show with the New Japan relationship with AEW, and it was nice in the beginning, but now look what happened. AEW swallowed up all of New Japan's top guys. They're all on the AEW banner now. And now New Japan's trying to get all this figured out, and they're left with a lot of their older guys and then having to develop these young guys, but Okada and Ospreay and all those guys are gone. It's a risky proposition.
It is. I mean, AJ right now is in Japan fighting somebody. Wouldn't that be great for AJ to come over and fight anybody in TNA?
Yeah.
I mean, or the Hardy Boys fighting the NXT tag team champ. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done. So, I mean, I would love to see AJ Styles fight another match in TNA. I'd love to see, the Machine Guns fight here, there, and everywhere. So it's open now. Tony Khan opened the forbidden door. Is he gonna regret it? Because now it's opened on a regular basis. Now WWE with their new ownership plan can see that we don't need to do the old traditional technique of keeping guys with us. Why not use this, that, and the other, and leave AEW off to the side? Again, is that another little poke or prod? You never know. I don't see any AEW guys getting invited over to WWE. Just saying.
Yep, very, very true. All right, hey, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to keep it going with Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows. Of course, if you haven't gone to adfreeshows.com, so many great podcasts over there. And we're going to talk about one of his guys, Jeff Jarrett, who just did an amazing job for that Owen Hart tournament. Oh, my God. So stick around there. We got a whole lot more. Plus, Matt Black from WrestleZone is going to join us, too, in hour 2. So stick around. We'll be right back.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
This message is sponsored by Adult Protective Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station. Unseen, unreported, and ignored, the abuse of vulnerable adults affects more people than you realize. Abandonment, abuse, neglect, exploitation, isolation. What you don't see hurts more. What they experience hurts every day. What they need is a voice. What they need is you. Help stop the abuse of vulnerable adults. Visit nevada211.org/APS or call 888-729-0571. This PSA is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $2,168,764 with 100% funding by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the author and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Hey there, I'm Healthy Hank, your health hero, here to give you little habits for healthy travels. Whether you're jet setting across the globe or hitting the road for a spontaneous adventure, it's crucial to prioritize health safety every step of the way. Picture this, you're on a road trip making a quick pit stop at a gas station. Before you dive into those irresistible gas station snacks, remember to wash your hands after using the pump. Those pumps can be a breeding ground for germs. And speaking of germs, if you find yourself in a sneezing or coughing fit, be sure to cover up and then disinfect any surfaces you may have touched. We're all in this together, so let's keep those contagious villains at bay. Remember, folks, a simple act like covering your cough or sneeze into your elbow or a tissue can make a world of difference. And if you're feeling a supervillain brewing inside you, do us all a favor and stay home. Together, we can ensure a safe and healthy journey for everyone. Stay safe, and let's conquer those germs together. This message is sponsored by a CDC grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep this rolling. It's the best in professional wrestling right here in Las Vegas on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Streaming on the Odyssey app. Download that right now, AUDACY. And streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, just everywhere. We don't go away. It's like a bad cold. Just can't get rid of it. Or a itch you can't scratch. Just a lot of fun. Having a great time. Of course, we got Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum from adfreeshows.com joining us. Matt Black from WrestleZone is going to be added to the party in hour number 2. Boy, you can't beat that. Having an awesome time. Coach, a lot of people have been talking about Jeff Jarrett, of course, he's got that great podcast over on Ad Free Shows. And the performances that he put on during the Owen Hart tournament were just absolutely phenomenal. And, the promos that he cut reminded us a little bit about just how good Jeff can be. He's played so many obnoxious characters over the years, but, I got to interview Jeff and face-to-face a while back. And I think people forget sometimes, just because of the characters that he's tended to play, of the knowledge that he has, the the character that he really is in real life. He's got a lot of wisdom to him. He studies, very very knowledgeable dude. Somebody you want to be around because you're going to learn whenever you get near him. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Jeff and what it's like to be working with him, because I know you guys are really good friends.
Well, I mean, I just started as a fan with ad-free shows, and Jeff just took a liking to me, and I just got lucky. But that shows the true mastery of Jeff Jarrett, because if people believe that what his character is, he's doing a heck of a job, because everything that everybody hears on the show is, man, I hated Jeff Jarrett. I thought he was the worst character ever. But you know what? Since hearing My World, I love Jeff Jarrett. We hear that all the time. Jeff Jarrett is a traveling nomad of wrestling. He watches the product. He studies the product. And not only that, he brings in a practical, whole world approach, pragmatic. Jeff, to me, is the Yoda of professional wrestling.
He is, when I met him, I was just taken aback. And I knew that because of, everything that he's done, that, there's a wealth of knowledge there going back to his dad. But I just never knew how deep of a personality he had, because I was expecting him to be a little obnoxious, and he's not like that. He's not. It's the character that he plays, and it was really cool to see that come through for the Owen Hart tournament, and I wish he'd do more of that. I think that would be fun to, as he's getting later in his career here, to see him be more of that instead of the guy that's swinging a guitar all the time. I think people really enjoyed it.
Well, if you listen to the last couple of weeks of My World, Jeff speaks on, the whole process of the Owen Hart tournament. And if anybody thinks that the promos that he gave about the Owen tournament was a work, you're crazy. Jeff is a passionate person. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. So if you ever wanted to see a true picture of who Jeff Jarrett was, those promos, whether it was before the match against Hangman or going into being the enforcer, that's the real Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is a man of principle. He's a man that will look you in the eye. He'll take a time for a young wrestler. He'll take a time for a up-and-coming podcaster like Mark Hoke. He will take the time for anybody, because he is an ambassador of the sport of pro wrestling. Owen Hart meant the world to him. I still can't imagine how he had to go out and give that promo after the accident with Owen. He's strong, he's loyal, and he's faithful. Jeff Jarrett is what pro wrestling is about.
Yeah. So, just a reminder, of course, you can go to adfreeshows.com and, hop on. There's a ton of great shows on there from some of your favorite personalities. I mean, it's like a hit list for me. I love those guys, man. They're, so many terrific guys on there, like, Kurt Angle and, Eric Bischoff. I mean, just JR. I mean, Conrad, can't forget Conrad. He's running the show over there. It's a terrific group. So make sure you check it out. Well, we're going to have a lot more to talk about when we come back for hour number 2, because we got Matt Black from WrestleZone coming on, and Maddie and Josh and me are going to have it out on a whole lot of fun stuff. If you haven't heard Matt Black, oh man, he speaks his mind. We'll just say that. It's a lot of fun. So
I'm going to go hydrate during the break to get ready for him.
Yeah, you better. So stick around, everybody. We got a whole lot more coming up on hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show. Coach Rosey and Matt Black, should be a terrific time. Hour 2 of the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking that we're at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Tired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important. You can help improve the health of all mothers and babies in Nevada by completing a Pregnancy Risk Assessment Monitoring System survey about your recent pregnancy. Also known as PRAMS, the survey is from the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The survey asks new moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health of mothers and babies in Nevada. If you receive a PRAMS survey, please share your story. Learn more at nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. That's nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. This message sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey there, I'm Healthy Hank, your health hero, here to give you little habits for healthy travel. Picture this. You're on a road trip making a quick pit stop at the gas station. Before you dive into those irresistible gas station snacks, remember to wash your hands after using the pump. Those pumps can be a breeding ground for germs. Together, we can ensure a safe and healthy journey for everyone. Stay safe, and let's conquer those germs together. This message is sponsored by a CDC grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
He had more than a gun. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Law enforcement officials just telling the Associated Press explosive materials were found in the car and the home of the man suspected of trying to kill former President Trump at a Pennsylvania rally yesterday. The FBI identifying the shooter early today as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who's from Pennsylvania and was killed by Secret Service agents after firing from a rooftop where some witnesses say they could see him shortly before shots were fired.
A lot of people are wondering if people in the crowd were able to see someone had a gun on top of this roof. How come local police and Secret Service agents didn't see that? There is a lot of finger pointing going on right now in Washington, D.C., from those who work the street level in uniform to the top levels of the Secret Service, the FBI, the ATF. The FBI and Secret Service are asking tough questions of themselves.
Fox's David Spunt in Washington. Fox News just confirming that the gun used had been legally purchased by the suspect's father and taken by the suspect. In a statement this morning on Truth Social, the former president thanking everyone who's offered thoughts and prayers and saying he looks forward to speaking this week from Wisconsin, where the Republican National Convention is scheduled to go on as planned in Milwaukee. That city's police chief, Jeffrey Norman, just telling Fox News.
This is a national special security event. This has always been a high level of vigilance. A lot of resources being provided for this particular event. So The show must go on in regards to what we have prepared.
He says they are in constant communication with federal, state, and local partners and take security for the event very seriously. Former First Lady Melania Trump releasing her own statement thanking the agents who protected her husband and calling the shooter a monster who saw her husband as an inhuman political machine. President Biden is expected to speak again soon after a call with the former president last night. America is listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Get your daily dose of news with a Fox News Rundown. A contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Going far beyond the headlines. Tomorrow morning at 5 on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action. And bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, and let's get back to it. Hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show. Very excited to have you with us. It's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, top-rated show. Live show on our exciting station here of KDAWN here in Las Vegas, because you know why? We're that damn good. That's just how it works. We're very thrilled to have you join us on Sunday morning. You know, probably a lot of people didn't sleep well last night, but, you know, we're going to try and bring a little happiness and levity to you by talking a little pro wrestling. Now, we've already got Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows. Josh Rosenbaum is on the board. Let's bring in my wrestling brother. I love this guy to death. He is amazing, does tremendous work over at WrestleZone.com. I wish I could do a show with this guy every day. He is just so much fun to have around. Let's get him in the fold here on the Mark Hoke Show. Matt Black.
What's up, man?
How are you, bud?
It's been a long week, and I guess it's the beginning of a new week, so here we go again.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Very happy to see you. So, welcome. Yeah, okay. I guess I should have said something after that. That's all right.
Oh, well.
Oh, I you know, it's funny. I was telling Matt to text. I'll just say it. You know, I had a little bit of an upset belly last night. I had a Burger King melt before I went to bed last night. And that move will not be made again before a show. That
probably not a good idea.
I'm going to say very bad decision on my part. And yeah, by the way, welcome to Mark Cho in the chat box. He follows you around, Matt. And we certainly appreciate that.
He's a good friend of mine. I appreciate his support.
Yeah, so very exciting to have anybody in the chat box. I know we got a lot of people listening, so come on in. Let's hear your comments about this. Now, I decided to have a little fun. I wanted to start off believing in somebody. As I went off about a month ago about this guy, our good friend Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, who, you know, lost in that battle royal right away, and, you know, it's just kind of getting beat up on TNA. And now he's in the main event at Slammiversary and main eventing NXT, and everything is looking up for our boy Joe Hendry. Now I'm curious to see what they're actually going to do with the guy. So, Matt, I'll start off with you. What is the ceiling for Joe Hendry at this point?
Well, I mean, the ceiling is all depending on what company he's in. I mean, depending on how long his contract is with TNA, obviously the ceiling is, TNA World Champion, which I think they should just go ahead and pull the trigger at Slammiversary, because you'd already know my opinions on the system. It's not working. The system is broken. It's not enjoyable programming for TNA, and they need to pivot their programming as soon as humanly possible. And if they can start that at Slammiversary by getting the world title off Moose and maybe the tag titles off Myers and Edwards, like, I think that's just the best direction that company could go right now.
Coach, what do you think about Joe Hendry? How far should they take this? Or, or are we talking of maybe it's a little bit of extra self-promotion and a little bit of a flash in the pan? I disagree with that, but is that a possibility? Are we all getting too excited about Joe Hendry?
I'm a fan. I'm a fan first. I mean, I love Joe Hendry. The song, it's cool. It's catchy. I don't know how long it'll last, but like Matt was saying, jump on that rocket ship and go, and then make the Hardys the tag champs. Why not? I think that would be a good spin at Slammiversary.
So you guys are both ready to just blow this thing up at Slammiversary, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Put championships on your stars. If you want people to tune into your weekly show, if you want people to buy TNA Plus for the millions of people who don't get Access TV and can't watch your show on cable, yes, put championships on people that the fans care about. And I'm not trying to be mean to the system. They're all very good wrestlers, but the gimmick's not working. They're not over. I would argue that some people would say that they have some go-away heat on them. Just do something to make people care, because all the eyeballs are on TNA right now because of their connection with NXT. So you need to make that count. And I feel like on their last little pay-per-view that they had on TNA Plus, I can't even remember what it was called. I think it was No Surrender. Like, they dropped the ball. It was not a good show. Beyond Jeff Hardy returning at the end of it, I was like, man, I wish I didn't even watch this. So they need to hit a grand slam at Slammiversary, and they need to steer the ship properly headed into Bound for Glory. These next few months are going to be extremely important for TNA, and I hope they don't fumble the opportunity that's been handed to them. That's been handed to them right now.
Yeah, so
Matt Hardy and them, they're not working on a contract.
Yes, exactly. And they're still if you look at their advertising for November's event that's going to be hosted at WrestleCade, they're advertising the Hardys. But tomorrow, Triple H could call and be like, hey guys, you want to come back and have another run? And they're gone. They're working on a per date basis. You better keep Matt and Jeff as happy as humanly possible, or they could just up and leave like Stephanie Valcourt up and left CMLL last week. So, and she was under contract. So that's even worse. Yeah. So the TNA needs to do right by their stars right now in order to keep their stars. Do right by Joe Hendry, so Joe Hendry second guesses immediately signing a WWE contract when his current one expires. Continue to do right by Jordynne Grace, because when her deal's up in January, I don't see a scenario that she's not straight over to WWE. You can't afford to lose these talents right now. Josh Alexander's as good as gone. They did that shady tactic of extending his deal when he asked them not to. If I'm Josh Alexander, my mind's already made up. I'm out the door when my deal's up. Like, you're about to lose a lot of great talent over the next year. Don't make it worse than it already is.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt, and I asked Coach Rosey in the first hour, while this deal with WWE and sending talent over there, get some promotion for TNA, could this be something that they regret, because you're kind of opening the door to getting your talent rated kind of like AEW has done to New Japan.
You got to take the good with the bad, and that's exactly what New Japan did. Because New Japan has not been nearly as strong as a promotion that they've been since we entered the pandemic back in 2020. It kind of really crippled New Japan. And that partnership with AEW really helped New Japan rise back up into a good position within the wrestling industry. So yeah, they lost Ospreay, they lost Okada, but it's not like when Wrestle Dynasty rolls around the day after Wrestle Kingdom next year that we're not going to see Will Ospreay and Okada on that show. Like AEW is, I feel like AEW is going out of their way to try to help their partners instead of hurt them. Where I feel WWE is kind of using TNA as a way to say, hey, we're working with other wrestling companies so we can never get sued for $20 million by MLW again. We're good. We're the good guys. We're not doing anything wrong. But secretly, when they're bringing in a Joe Hendry, when they're bringing in Jordan Grace, they are giving them the royal treatment in NXT and making them feel like they're megastars to the point where they're probably thinking, man, I can't wait to sign with these guys when my deal's up because this place is so awesome. So it's a mixed bag. I feel like TNA really needs the promotion that WWE is giving them right now, but they need to make the most out of the promotion that they're being given, and they need to make the right creative decisions to help bring their company back up to where it was when Scott D'Amore was running things last year.
Coach, you look like you had something you wanted to say there.
No, it's just I'm getting reaffirmed by Matt. He's you are a very smart, intelligent person when it comes to wrestling, but my takes match with you. So I feel like we're on the same page. So that's why I was saying, I think it's good, and I was just excited that we're on the same level.
Yeah, there you go. See, I bring the smart people on the Mark Hoke Show. That's what I do. And some other comments in the chat box, by the way, we got let's see. Well, Gamer Bear, said, hope you're doing good, Mark. But also Hoke, I guess. Okay, that's cute. The system isn't even broken; it's crippled. March also saying CML contract equals toilet paper, and Gamer Bear saying that's actually what it's printed on. Yikes.
Oh no!
Wow. So Matt, your friends, yikes! They're laying it in there.
Hey, I didn't say it. They did.
They did.
I didn't say it. They did.
Oh my God. Yeah. But this will be a very interesting card Slammiversary coming up. So, and in case everybody out there doesn't know what the card is, it's the Militia. That's Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts tag team champions, are taking on Spitfire. AJ Francis, who, by the way, I think is doing some pretty good work, is
Excellent
the TNA
work.
digital media champion. He's defending against PCO. Mustafa Ali is defending against Mike Bailey, Speedball. Jordan Grace is defending against Ash by Elegance. And then you've got that 6-way elimination match for the TNA World Championship, which is Moose defending against Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, Nick Nemeth, Frankie Kazarian, and Joe Hendry. So that, I think it's going to be a fun match. But
On paper, it looks like it's a very good show. And I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts that the Hardys against Edwards and Myers will end up being added to that as well. Because I'm sure the finish on Thursday is going to be something fishy or shady or whatever, which is going to lead to a rematch at the pay-per-view. So, the card's going to be stacked. But they need to deliver on what it looks like on paper. Make the right creative decisions for your fans to build your company moving forward.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do with Joe Hendry. I'm intrigued, as I've been screaming to the heavens to push Joe Hendry. So we'll see if he walks out of there with the title or not. But I don't know. Yeah, we're all kind of like, oh, you should, but will they?
There's a couple people in there they could give the title to, and Moose shouldn't be one of them.
Who else could you go with there, Matt? Now that you said that.
Well, you can't go wrong with Josh Alexander,
right?
Like he's been a backbone for that company, and heaven forbid if you try to make him happy, 6 months before his deal permanently expires. That certainly couldn't hurt. Who else is in there
What about
again?
Nemeth? What about Nick Nemeth?
If he's committed long term, Nemeth is also a great idea. Like, I thought they should have given him the title months ago. I thought they should have put the tag titles on him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, now's the time. If you're not going to strap up Hendry, strap up Nemeth.
Yeah, I was really surprised when it was here in Las Vegas and they didn't do it. So
yeah.
I guess we'll find out. So should be entertaining. Now, Matt, we also talked a little bit about what happened on Dynamite this week with the 2 Owen Hart winners, and it got everybody talking. Your thoughts on what happened with both of those finals, because it has created some very interesting possibilities coming up. These are going to be some fun matches at AEW All In with Swerve and Bryan Danielson and Mariah May taking on Toni Storm. These should be some pretty solid main event matches for Tony at Wembley.
Yeah, I think All In's going to be ridiculously stacked. I think AEW's hitting their stride at the right time this summer, and I think they're going to carry that momentum all the way into that pay-per-view, which essentially at this point is their WrestleMania, and I think it's going to feel like one big time this year. I predicted both Owen Hart tournament winners, so I was not surprised by either outcome. I was surprised that they immediately pulled the trigger on the Mariah May heel turn. I thought they were going to let that simmer for a couple more weeks and do it before All In, but to do it immediately after the match in the visual of the blood coming down Tony's head as she was being hammered by the shoe, that was money, man. As they said in the industry back in the day, red equals green. And that was a money angle at the end of Dynamite on Wednesday night.
Yeah, this is going to be I think All In's going to be awesome. And with so many people getting back from the injured list, boy, the one person I just wish was back right now is Adam Copeland. It is so sad that he's going to miss this card. But otherwise this is going to be loaded, and I can't wait to see what they do with MJF. I am really curious to see who the actual opponent is going to be for MJF when they get to All In.
I think it's going to be Ospreay.
You think so?
I think Tony's doing the exact same thing that he did last year with last year's All In. If you recall, there was an AEW World Championship match which opened AEW Dynamite last summer between Adam Cole and MJF. I was there. I was in the front row. I was in DC. They went to the time limit draw, and they eventually rematched, a couple months later at All In. They've also said that this international championship match between Ospreay and MJF is opening Dynamite on Wednesday night. So I'm predicting a time limit draw, and I'm predicting that they will rematch for that championship at All In. And I think Daniel Garcia will return at All In and cost MJF the match.
Interesting thought. That is a definite possibility. Well, I'll tell you what, we got to get a break in, guys. But I wanted, we talked about AEW getting their momentum back, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about something deeper with AEW and their impact on the industry, because so many people are, like to bang on AEW. It's a very interesting conversation. There's a lot of haters out there, but I put up a tweet this week about, what AEW has done for professional wrestling, and I wanted to get a little bit into that. So we're going to hit that topic when we return here on the Mark Hoke Show. So stick around, everybody. We've got Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows, Josh Rosenbaum, and Matt Black from WrestleZone.com. He is the king and overlord, super editor over there. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show. Whole lot more. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's David Masters. Join me and my brother Alan for Advice Line, 10 to midnight, Monday through Friday, right here on 101.5 FM. That's Advice Line, America's radio counseling program. If you've got problems, we've got your answers. Monday through Friday, 10 to midnight.
Dear summer vacay, load up on fun in a new Toyota. 4Runner's an off-road icon. Tundra hauls it all with its tenacious twin-turbo engine. And Tacoma takes adventure straight to the top. Want to ride with sizzling hot style and efficiency? The all-new all-hybrid Camry is revving and ready.
Visit Toyota.com or your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Visit your Southern Nevada Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 tests under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
The wait is over. Dell Technologies Black Friday and July deals are live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15, powered by Intel Core processors. The XPS 15 brings you the perfect balance of power and portability, plus stellar visuals and immersive sound. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics, plus free shipping on everything. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Know a disabled veteran who needs specialized furniture? Visit walkerfurniture.com/help for heroes and share why you or another veteran would benefit from Walker Furniture's Help for Heroes program.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we're back in hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN, 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, and also on that Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download it now, or, little children will come screaming at you all through the streets. It will be tragic. You don't want that to happen. And, of course, we are streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So wherever you are, but subscribe. Golly gee whiz. That would make my Sunday. I would appreciate it. And, of course, we've got Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum from Ad Free Shows, and Matt Black from, of course, WrestleZone.com. Just having a blast talking pro wrestling here on KDAWN. And this was something that I was thinking about a couple of days ago, and I was curious to hear your thoughts, because we have still some interesting tribalism in pro wrestling, guys. And it kind of bothers me a little bit, because I can't understand why some people hate AEW so much, because they have had such an incredible impact on the industry, and it made everybody step their game up so much in every aspect of it. The performers have had to do better. The promotions have had to do better. Even, from WWE down to the industries. Because I remember when I first started doing this show, WWE was on complete coast mode. And they have really had to have changed over the past few years of what they were doing, because now they had a legit competitor, something else that people could watch. And, Triple H could say what he wanted, but, there were people that were starting to turn the dials a little bit. And, and people, even in the media, people had to do a better job. And AEW really, I think, took the industry and made it better. And you can say what you want about the promotion itself, whether it's, you like it or you don't, but I think it made massive improvements to what has gone on in pro wrestling. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that. Let me go to you first, Coach Rosey, on that.
Well, I think it was the perfect storm. unfortunately, with COVID, we had a lot more time to watch wrestling. And I think the new shiny toy was AEW. And I think that brought back a lot of fans that might have been on the periphery or might have been frustrated with WWE. I mean, the Thunderdome, that didn't really resonate with a lot of people watching on television. But, the AEW product was something shiny and new, and I think it really propelled people back. Now with everything being open again, it's kind of going back to the way it used to be, but there's still that strong AEW presence that is going to continue to not only push WWE, but push TNA and push all the strong independents to produce and make a good product.
Matt, what do you think? Because I mean, you've been in this industry for a long time. So what did you see a shift?
Oh, and there was an absolute shift when AEW came in. They made WWE step up their game, because you're right, WWE was on cruise control for a decade and a half. Once WCW and ECW went down, they didn't care what they were doing. As long as they were making their weekly product, it didn't need to be the greatest thing of all time, because they were the only game in town. As far as they were concerned, they weren't concerned about TNA or New Japan or Ring of Honor or anything like that. But now there's a legitimate number 2 competitor in the world of professional wrestling, and WWE responded. That's why the WWE product is as good as it is right now and as hot as it is because of AEW. And you also need to keep in mind, without AEW, AEW has a roster, I would say probably somewhere between 100 and 150 people, on their in-ring roster. I'm not even talking about backstage employees and production and ring crew and all those people they employ, making a good living because this company exists. There's no way WWE could hire all of those people that AEW have employed and utilize all of them and not just release 20 people every other month. AEW is good for the industry, and I don't understand anybody who can't see that. It is an alternative to WWE. I don't understand the criticisms and the complaints from the old talking heads that want AEW to be more like WWE. Their complaints are, this isn't lit. They're not doing it the way WWE does it, or WWE does it this way, so why doesn't AEW do it that way? They're an alternative product. And that's what's important about AEW. They're giving people the option. If you don't like what WWE has for you, here's AEW. But they're not forcing, as a wrestling fan, you are not forced to watch anything. 20 years ago, if you wanted to watch wrestling, you had to watch WWE. Now there's wrestling on TV almost every freaking day of the week. You have a choice of what to watch. Don't hate watch what you don't enjoy. Watch what you love. Well, and if you don't like AEW, or you don't like WWE, or you don't like TNA or MLW or NWA or any of the other wrestling companies out there, just don't watch them. Don't talk about them. Don't hate watch. Don't shame people who enjoy the other companies. Just watch what you enjoy and promote what you enjoy. The ongoing tribalism online absolutely blows my mind. I love WWE. I love AEW. I'm a pro wrestling fan. Why can't we all be pro wrestling fans together? Because when I was growing up, I was picked on relentlessly in school for being a wrestling fan. And then junior high and high school happened throughout the Attitude Era. And all of a sudden, I was able to coast through those years because wrestling was cool again during the Monday Night Wars. But I can only imagine having a group of wrestling fans to go to when I was a kid, to share my love for WWF and WCW and everything that was ongoing at that time. Now we have that. You can go on social media and interact with wrestling fans all over the world. But instead of just being united and enjoying professional wrestling, people are at each other's throats because it has to be AEW versus WWE. It doesn't have to be anything. Just watch the pro wrestling you enjoy, and that's all there is to it.
There you go. Matt Black. A round of applause. Round of applause.
Dropping knowledge.
Oh,
that's
beautiful.
our Sunday sermon for today. We'll pass the plate.
Oh
Go
my
to
God.
WrestleZone and tie them.
There you go. That was beautiful.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm very passionate about the tribalism in wrestling. I can't stand it. And anytime I can try to talk about it, make people see things in a different way, I am more than happy to do so.
Yeah, and and one thing that I think people forget sometimes too is the opportunities that when AEW came in that it has created for everybody, because there's now hope for more performers too.
Yep.
You have so many more indie promotions that that are succeeding, and here in Las Vegas we've got a bunch of them, and they now have so much more of a chance to get out there and do something, as opposed to, boy, I hope WWE takes a look at me and I'm that 1 in 5,000. You've got so many chances now to get seen. And these people that are out there busting their butts, it was either, you get on WWE or maybe hit TNA and that was it. Otherwise, you're out there grinding for, $100 maybe if you were lucky.
I was going to say, if you're lucky, yeah.
So this has been great for everybody. And, and like you said, I just wish everybody would just enjoy, I'm not a big GCW guy, I that's not my thing, but there's a lot of people that love GCW.
And they house a lot of great talent there too.
Yeah.
So
enjoy what you like, but man, just stop ripping it all the time. My God. I mean, there's great performers.
If you don't like it, don't talk about it. Like you don't see me on my timeline talking about things that I hate. I don't discuss things that I hate. I discuss things that I love. And even when I'm critiquing it out of love. Like, I'm not doing it to be a jerk, or trying to be a contrarian, and any, a-hole or anything like that. I'm really just trying. I want to help make the product better.
Right.
So I feel sometimes if I know Tony Khan reads everything. I get liked. He's liked plenty of my tweets throughout the years. So I know he reads what I say. So I feel like if I could say something and help benefit a product and make it better, I'm going to say it. And I'm not doing it to, to cause a tribalistic war or anger or anything. Like I critique when it's needed and I praise when it's deserved. And I do that for everything that I love. If I go and see Deadpool and Wolverine at the end of this month and it doesn't live up to my expectations, I will go on social media afterwards and say, man, they dropped the ball with the movie that I was looking forward to most all year. But I want to walk out of the movie theater going, that was the greatest MCU experience I've had since Endgame.
Flat out will watch it. And Coach, to that end too, I know that, you work with Eric Bischoff a lot, and Eric catches flack and he's very critical of AEW, but I don't get the impression that Eric does it because he hates AEW. Eric, I feel like, has a very unique perspective because he was there. There's very few people that can speak to running a wrestling promotion and having it on national television other than him. I mean, it's a very unique spot that he was in. So when he's banging on AEW, I don't think that it's out of a place of hate or anything like that. I think he wants to see it succeed too. And I love a pro wrestling. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that, because I know you're around Eric a lot.
And I would agree with that. I consider Eric similar to Matt. He's got what he likes and he's passionate about it. And not that he's trying to hurt one company or another, but he's going to share his opinion from his heart. And I'm an AEW guy. So we do sometimes have some dialogue and figure out which way he thinks it's going to go. And he accepts people that disagree. That's the beauty of wrestling. Creativity is subjective, so if you don't like what he's saying, listen to it. Maybe not, but that doesn't mean it should change your opinion. Everyone's allowed to love what they love. And some people like the style of AEW. Some people don't. A lot of time, Eric comes from a production angle or a lighting angle or a sound angle. He just takes a look at wrestling different than other people. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it right. It just makes it his opinion.
Yeah, I enjoy listening to him because of there's very few people in the world that can offer that place that he was in. So it's, I always like to learn from people that have had that experience, whether it's in broadcasting or doing other things. When I coached volleyball for 20 years, when I had a chance to listen to an Olympic coach or a college coach or somebody like that, or another high school coach that succeeded, whether I agreed or disagreed with what they said, getting those perspectives is important, So, like I hear people trash Eric all the time, and, I don't agree with everything Eric says, but, I've never been there. So I'm gonna take what he says with some serious consideration and not just throw it in the garbage can. By the way, chat box lit up. You guys got them going. Let's see. Mark Cho said no screaming children, please at me. So I got that. Let's see. Also said tribalists have no life. Got that. Gamer Bear said a rising tide lifts all boats. Bionic Scoop, my good friend Scoop, got to give him that. Like what you want and watch what you want. And he also said not just performers, but production folks too. Absolutely. A lot of jobs there. Mark Joe said Reverend Matt Black testify. There you go. So, and Game Bear said, oh, my brother. There you go. So you got everybody fired up, Matt. Nice job.
Look, I'm happy to get some people fired up, especially people who love professional wrestling. Like I said, I love what Bionic Scoop said. Like what you want and watch what you want. But you don't need to hate watch and you don't need to hate comment. If you don't like AEW, don't watch AEW. Don't comment about AEW. You don't like WWE, don't watch WWE. Don't comment about WWE. Just focus on what you enjoy and let the other stuff just live in its own existence. It's not hurting you. If anything, it's benefiting your product. The people who only like WWE, AEW is benefiting their product. The people who only like AEW, WWE is benefiting their product. It works both ways. But if you don't like one or the other, just watch the other one and let the other one alone. It's not that hard.
It does. It does, because when you see, when WWE is succeeding, obviously, and Tony sees maybe his ratings dip a little bit. Will Ospreay brought it up. He said, well, I saw that ratings dip. I was like, when? What are we, I took that as a challenge. And that's actually what a person who is driven and wants to succeed does. And when Ospreay made those comments, I said, that's a guy I want to work with. That's a guy that I want by my side, who doesn't put his head down and say, oh, we had a bad week and oh, things are terrible. That's a guy that wants to say, hey, let's go. Let's fix the problem. And that, and I got to interview Will, and I'll tell you what, that guy, I'd love to go to battle with that guy. I would. He is just a guy that is just fired up and wants to win. And, he wants to take AEW to a great place. It's a lot of fun. I love being around people like that.
Look, I'm going to go out on a limb right now. If they continue to utilize Will Ospreay properly on screen, in the media, and in all aspects of AEW, he can be their John Cena in the next 5 years. You just have to utilize him properly. They have all the potential in the world there for him to be their showcase star. When you think of AEW and 10, 15 years from now, people will be like, they think of Will Ospreay. Just like people like today, earlier this week, I saw a tweet from Fight Triller. Who do you think of when you think of TNA? And I responded with Always and Forever with a gif of AJ Styles. No matter how long that company is in existence, when I think of TNA and I think of that logo, the first person I think of is AJ Styles.
Yeah.
If AEW does things properly by Will Ospreay, 10 or 15 years down the line, if somebody online asks that question, I think the answer could be Will Ospreay.
Yeah. And MJF right there too. And, Yeah, there's just so much talent there, and if they do it right, and Dr. Britt Baker's one too that I think that she could be somebody that if they keep her, if she stays healthy and keep her in the right place, that's somebody that will be synonymous with that brand forever as long as they keep her there. So, and Gamer Bear said that was the right choice. And by the way, Bionic Scoop said, I asked one person to point to the doll where Tony Khan hurt your pride. I love Scoop. Scoop is so awesome. All right. Hey, we got to get another break in, guys. So we're going to keep the discussion going, having a great time. I love just, getting into the fun of being a pro wrestling fan. And that's what we do here on the Mark Hoke Show. So stick around. We got a whole lot more coming up as we get into our final segment with Matt Black from WrestleZone and Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum from adfreeshows.com. So stick around. We got a whole lot more to wrap this thing up on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. We'll be right back.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 7 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM. Summertime is made for Jerry's Nugget Steak and Shrimp Special, and it's only $16.89. Come savor the goodness as you slice into a juicy 8-ounce New York steak cooked to order. Then let the succulent pan-fried shrimp melt in your mouth. It's so good. Jerry's Steak and Shrimp is served 7 days a week, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Your meal comes with a choice of soup of the day or house salad, choice of potato and garlic bread. Bring the family and enjoy. Jerry's Nugget Casino, your kind of place.
Jerry's Nugget Casino, your kind of place.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
You're pregnant, and no matter what you do, no matter what you try, you can't stop using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco. But no matter how lost you are, how far along you are, it's not too late. There's always hope, and there are many safe places that can help you stop using. In Nevada, pregnant women are given the highest priority for substance use treatment. Low-cost treatment options may be available so you and your baby can get healthy now. If you or someone you love is pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant and using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 to find help today. SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org also has resources for healthcare providers, friends, and family. If you want to help someone who's pregnant and using, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 today. Sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
What better time than right now to make a new start with your finances? Mark Cordner of Golden Years Financial can tell you how. Tune in Saturdays at noon for Golden Years, a roadmap to navigate retirement, right here on 101.5.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Trying not to break the buttons on the board. That's a bad thing. Station doesn't like that very much. But welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. The stuff you guys don't get to see. Actually, you can't see that one. That's good. Glad the bosses can't see it either. Anyway, best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Having an awesome time here as we get ready to wrap the show up. Matt Black from WrestleZone, Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum from adfreeshows.com. Very happy to have you gentlemen along for the ride. Just having an awesome time talking pro wrestling here on KDAWN. Now, by the way, I neglected to mention congratulations to DIY for winning the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Way to go. Of course, they got a nice Jacob Fautus sandwich this week. That didn't look like a lot of fun, but way to go, DIY. I forgot to mention it last week and almost forgot it this week too. So way to go. So nice win for DIY. Joe Tessitore is joining the announce team. Of course, a great college football announcer. You guys excited about that? Coach?
I like him. I don't know what he's going to bring to wrestling, but he's good on Holy Moly too, the mini golf show.
Yeah.
You know, he's funny. I don't know what he can bring, but I enjoy a change. You know, it might be signaling Michael Cole being ready to move aside, you know, if they're bringing in this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's apparently a lifelong wrestling fan. Matt, are you excited about Joe Tessitore coming in?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm keeping an open mind and I'm trying to be optimistic because he's a lifelong wrestling fan. But we've seen WWE bring in so many commentators over the years that are great elsewhere and completely flounder in WWE. This one being a fan, I hope will end up being successful. I don't know if I'm in the minority or not, and I still don't understand the decision, but even with his lack of knowledge coming in, I really thought Jimmy Smith did a great job on Raw, and I thought he went out of his way to study the industry and to know what he was talking about. So I was very surprised when they let him go. So if this is their next decision in terms of a replacement for when they had Jimmy Smith in there, at least he's a lifetime fan. He's got plenty of commentary experience. So fingers crossed he comes in and gels with Barrett and Graves and everything works out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, just, you know, I love his announcing style. So as long as he comes in and knows what he's saying, I think we'll be okay. He'll certainly bring a little extra pep to the SmackDown broadcast. I'm kind of thrilled about that. I didn't get either of your thoughts on everything that happened in Money in the Bank. We've only got a few minutes, so we've got to keep it short. But Matt, I'll start with you. Just your overall thoughts on Money in the Bank, and does this leave you excited for SummerSlam with everything that happened over there?
I'm going to say something that I haven't said in many years. I liked the NXT show that weekend better.
Wow.
And that used to be the norm when Triple H was running and the takeovers. I'm like, man, every weekend, takeover outperforming the WWE main pay-per-view. I really did. Like, I loved that Tiffany Stratton won the Money in the Bank, and that was probably my favorite thing from the show. But I thought NXT outshined Money in the Bank.
Wow, interesting. Coach, what did you think?
I had the pleasure of being at a watch party in Times Square, so that added a different dynamic to Money in the Bank. They really bring it. But I just thought it was a spot fest, the Money in the Bank. There were some great spots. The whole ref thing, I feel bad that Damien got hit, but it kind of threw things off for me for the rest of it. Had me thinking, what's going on? Is he hurt? Was this a botch? Who messed up? But, it was good. It was entertaining. But you're right, Matt. NXT, that finish with Ethan Page where he just fell, that was classic. Just classic Ethan. How he just stumbled into it.
Yeah, that was
every match on NXT delivered. And I honestly, I can't remember the last time I could say that. It really felt like an old school takeover. There were 2 matches on that show I didn't care at all about, like the tag title match and the women's North American title match. I went in, I'm like, I don't care about either of these. And by the end of the match, I'm like, wow, that was really freaking good. And I was blown away, impressed by what NXT brought to the table on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely was. Heatwave was something else. So yeah, and Ethan Page falling into a title. Haven't seen that play for a while. But good for Ethan Page. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to see what he does with the NXT Championship. So, yeah, wild week. But and Matt, I'm going to ask you one more time, real fast. Are you still not excited about Gunther and Damian Priest? No,
Not at all.
Not at all.
I think Gunther's going to flatten him. They're going to try to make him look good, but I think the match is going to be 75-25 Gunther, and I think he's going to flatten him. I mean, that's exactly why Priest said, "Oh, Rollins, I'll give you another title shot after SummerSlam. It's a gentleman's agreement." And I said out loud in my living room, "Yeah, that's because you're not going to have the title." He's as good as done. Ring General's new world heavyweight champion. It's already written in the stars. It's done.
Fair enough. Yeah. So how about you, Coach? You with Matt on that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Gunther, he's a chop guy for me. I revel at his chops, but he doesn't do much more for me. He's a souped up Sheamus.
Wow. I'm a little bigger on Gunther than that, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's Sheamus 10.0. Like,
okay,
Sheamus got down like Gunther, man, back in that was Sheamus's thing back in the day. That boom, the kick, all that. Gunther is just way more advanced.
Okay, he's a god. It is true. All right. So I've got about a minute and a half left. So I want to make sure I give both of you a chance to plug what you got going on. Coach, tell us a little bit about ad-free shows.
Ad-free shows. We'll be down in Waterloo for the Hall of Fame this weekend coming up. We're bringing a contingent of guys. We're going to be supporting Tony Schiavone and other guys like Arn, and we're just going to be there. And if you want to give us a checkout, we have 83 weeks. We have My World. We have JR show. We have Bruce Pritchard show. It's a good array of nostalgia, and there's some big pods that are going to be announced pretty soon. So if you love nostalgic wrestling, if you love the old days, give us a check out over at adfreeshows.com.
And Matt, you got WrestleZone, of course.
I do. We're trying to be your one-stop shop for all things wrestling news, rumors, interviews, editorials, opinion pieces. Like if you want to know what's going on in the world of professional wrestling, just check out WrestleZone. We've got you covered.
There you go. So make sure you go to WrestleZone.com and check that out too. Guys, I want to thank you so much. What a fun show. And it's nice to get to get below the surface a little bit and just, what's going on in pro wrestling and dig in a little bit. And we had great discussion today. So thank you both for being on. I really do appreciate it.
It was cool. And Matt, I love the Alf box. I live in Phoenix. R.I.P. the little kid that played Alf's sidekick.
Brian.
Brian died in Phoenix this week. But
that was
Alf was iconic.
Way too many people died this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough one. But hey, you know what? We can go back, watch some wrestling, forget about it, and have a great time.
That's it.
Yes.
But thank you, gentlemen. I do appreciate it. Josh Rosenbaum, Coach Rosey, and of course, Matt Black. You got Matt at Raw F Showtime on Twitter as well. And it's Real Coach Rosey for Josh if you want to follow them. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be back with another edition next week. Of course, you can follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show, MarkHokeShow.com. As you can tell, I'm out of breath just saying Mark Hoke Show. That's where it all is. We will see you next week. thank you so much for being a part of it. I really do appreciate it, along with the rest of the team here at Odyssey and KDAWN. Have a great week, and we'll dig into that ring and have a great time. Watch that wrestling. Don't be tribal, and see you next time.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
On the battlefield, there's a saying,